Alright guys, so I finally got the Lady Death. Now I haven't been farming for this, but I've wanted this for some time. I know how good this is in PvE, I know how good this is in PvP as well. Absolutely shreds in both. And so with the Lady Death in mind, what I wanted to do was just make a build that I think is going to work really well, especially in PvE. It works really well in PvP as well. And it's a build that's going to make you do a lot of damage, but also be pretty tanky actually, not just in yourself as a character, but also as you'll see, we are running the shield, and this is a skill tier 4 shield, so it actually can take quite a lot. So the build itself, I'll go over that in a minute. So the Lady Death obviously being really strong because you can build blues around the Lady Death just because you get that extra 75% amplified damage when you get those stacks up. So you're getting so much extra damage from the Free talent that you can afford to invest in some blues and some other stuff to keep your survivability there. Also, obviously, you get that extra 20% movement speed, really good for PvP, and obviously solid for PvE as well. And that's for 10 seconds. So the build, let's have a look at the build here, guys. So as you can see, what I've got is I've got 2 blue pieces. We've got a blue on the backpack here, and then we've got 3 red pieces. All in all, we got 4 reds, 3 blues, and 1 yellow. And I'll explain the build as we go through here. So the mask here, I've gone for Sokolov Concern to get that extra SMG damage. I've rolled this to armor. It's got crit damage, crit chance, crit damage. Pretty much the perfect roll for me. Unfortunately, they're not max rolls, but in terms of the actual attributes, this is the best piece that I could ask for this particular build. So that's the first piece of Sokolov. The second piece, giving us that extra 15% crit damage for the talent. Now this has got weapon damage, crit chance, skill damage, crit damage. It's not the perfect roll. Now ideally, guys, if you're going for a build like this, you want weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and then crit damage. You're going to want to get as much crit damage as possible here, as long as you're reaching that cap of 60 for the crit chance. Skill damage for this build, it doesn't work, so yeah, just ignore that piece. But in terms of the talent, guys, now you might be a little bit confused. I've gone with Intimidate. So Intimidate is one of the best talents in the game right now, there's no doubt about it. Amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. And with this in mind, you are going to want to be as close to NPCs, or if you're playing PvP, as close to other players as possible. You're going to want to be within that 10 meters so that you can get that extra 35%, but it does rely on bonus armor, right? So with that in mind, I'll just go straight to the backpack. Now, I'm using Memento. I'm sure you guys know exactly what this piece is. Now, I try not to use Memento in any of my builds, just because I think it's one of those backpacks. It just works well with everything. It's pretty much meta. It works. It's just good for everything, and I don't like to use pieces that you just kind of have to use. But for this piece, it just works so well. And the reason why is because of the kill confirmed talent. Obviously, I got 3 blues on this, which means that every time I pick up a trophy, for 10 seconds, I get an extra 30% bonus armor. So with that in mind, then it procs Intimidate. So I don't actually need Adrenaline Rush, which you would normally use, like this. Adrenaline Rush, you normally use that. You get an extra 20%. I think for the perfect version, you get 23%. And it's only for, I think it goes up because it can stack. But you know, you get this and you get an extra 30%, plus you get an extra, an extra 20% weapon damage as well, plus an extra 5% skill efficiency. And skill efficiency is going to go well with my skill on here, that bonus. So really, this just works really well for this. It procs it so that you can use Intimidate, and that's why this works really well. So yeah, with that in mind though, because you're going to want to be within 10 meters, you're going to want survivability, right? So I will explain 2 options as we go through this. So the next piece, I've gone for the Forge holster. Now I tried this without the Forge holster, and I tried to just use pretty much a DPS piece. And what I found was that whilst I did a bit more damage initially, my shield was getting shredded. If I was paying control points, my shield was getting shredded fairly quickly, even though I was level 4. Or tier 4, it was getting shredded pretty quickly. But when I threw this Forge on, then I found actually that my shield health was actually great. It actually made a lot of difference. Plus I'm running that, so it means I'm actually at tier 5. But I was also doing enough damage. As you've seen in the footage, I was doing a lot of damage still. But I was getting so much extra shield health. And because I get the extra tier with this being an armor piece rather than just a red piece, it made a big difference. So actually I felt this was the best option for this particular piece. In terms of the knee pads here, I've gone for Fox's Prayers simply because there just isn't any other DPS piece in this game that gives you as much damage as this does. I've tested this in the shooting range with loads of pieces. Nothing gives you as much extra damage than this piece does. That damage to targets out of cover is just so strong that nothing comes close to it. So I'd always recommend it with pretty much every DPS build. In terms of the gloves, I've gone for Grupo Sombra. Now, I tested this against contractors, and Grupo Sombra is just better. Because, you know, 60% of the time you're going to be good doing crit damage, which is an extra 27% crit damage, and that's just stronger than that damage to armor. So that's why I've gone for Grupo Sombra. I checked the numbers in the shooting range, and Grupo Sombra just outperformed it. So I've gone with Grupo Sombra. So in terms of the mods, I've gone for crit damage mods for all of these pieces. You want to get as much crit damage as possible. And then, as I said, in terms of the skills, I've gone for a shield. As you can see, it's actually tier 6. And I've got shield health as well on top, which makes it... Actually, it's only tier 6. Sorry, it's not tier 6. It's only tier 6 because I'm holding the pistol. It's tier 5, which is still great. But because I'm using this holster, it gives me a lot of extra health, which is great. In terms of the mods, I've got a 1 damage per enemy mod, which... I mean, I always go with that. I've got shield health mod, and then I've got a 5 damage bonus per enemy mod on there as well. I've obviously gone for Technician as my skill tree, only because of that extra 1 skill tier. That's the only reason I've gone for it. Other than that, I wouldn't really go for it, to be honest, guys. But the only other thing I can think of, guys, is if you wanted to mess around with this, I'll just quickly show you the stats of this one here. So it's only at 48.5% crit chance. So I could make some adjustments. 133.6% crit damage. If you wanted to make some adjustments, if you didn't want to run with a shield, then the only thing I could really recommend with this build is removing these crit damage mods, putting on some protection for elite mods. Because protection from elites mods still work really well. And if you're doing control points and stuff where a lot of them are elites, this is going to come in handy. And then if you are doing that, then you're probably going to want to change over to... what specialization is it? I can't remember the specialization. I can't remember. But there's one specialization. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's probably... it might be the grenade launcher. I could be wrong. No, it's the crossbow. So if you go over to the survivalist specialization, that'll give you an extra 10% protection from elites. So you could potentially get up to 40%, 50% protection from elites. Throw that in there, you could remove the shield, and you would still feel like you're pretty strong. Now, you might not need it, because once you get this rocking, right, if you get all 30 stacks, then you get an extra 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, plus 3% armor regeneration. You might not need it. And when that's up and running and you've got your shield with this build, then you're doing a lot of damage because you're getting 30% from here, you're getting 35% from Intimidate, you're also getting 75% from Lady Death. So you're getting a lot of damage, but your survivability is strong because you've got this really strong shield. And I'm also running Decoy, and that's just so that I don't take too much damage altogether. I run a lot of control points, I don't really run a lot of missions. And with me running a lot of control points, you do find that enemies just hit you so quickly and so hard, and because a lot of it's full of elites, you do take a lot of damage quickly. There's no way around it. Using the decoy helps a little bit. It doesn't help a lot. You still have to play a little bit smart. You can play way more aggressive with the memento when it's at full stacks. Initially, you're going to find that you can play aggressive, but you can't be stupid. When you've got the memento at 30 stacks, you can play really aggressive and you can play fairly stupid, to be honest, and you will survive and you'll be doing numbers. Considering this has only got 4 reds on it, this is not a DPS build, you can do upwards of 700k damage at full stacks. Plus, you've got a 5.5 million shield, pretty much. It'll be higher than that as well. It'll be way higher than that. Plus, you'll have 3% armor regen. You know, you're doing a lot of damage and you're surviving for very long. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully, you did enjoy this one. If you did, drop a like down below. Tomorrow, I'll be doing our usual vendor reset video. Also, I'll be streaming the Destiny 2 Beyond Light as well, DLC, from 5 o'clock tomorrow, hopefully, if my internet doesn't play up. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned to that. It should be good fun. And with that said, until tomorrow's video, guys, epic out.